So, I've just reviewed all 65 episodes of Friendship is Magic, and I would just like to take this moment to say that every single episode is awesome! I'd like to say that, but I'd be lying straight to your face. We have had some truly amazing episodes, and we have had some pretty awful duds that were a slog at storytelling, had reprehensible morals, did terrible things with the characters, etc. So I'm here to count down my top 10 worst episodes from seasons 1 through 3. The rules. If I've given an episode 3 stars in my actual review of the episode, it's safe. Hearts and Hooves Day, you're lucky. This is how they personally made me angry, bored, etc. If you want the factual reasons as to why I failed them, check out my actual reviews. Also, check out my season overviews for dishonorable mentions. This is by no means an objective list. They're just the episodes that made me go. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting list when my least favorite writer barely cracks the list. That's because, like I said in my review, this episode is mostly okay, despite Pinkie leaving the infants alone in the bathtub. I know the kids won't imitate that, at least I hope not, but it still bothers me that that was allowed through. One of the biggest problems with this episode is how cliched it is. I've seen this before. I've seen this all before. Except that, and I never want to see that again. That one moment is more disgusting than the entirety of A Bird in the Hoof, which I've spared from this list for keeping its similarly insulting ending in canon. Yeah, the reason this episode lands on the list is the last 5 minutes. It doesn't just have a disregard for canon, it's got a blatant disregard for canon. If you watch any other episode, you should know that infant ponies cannot fly, and do magic better than experts. Blah 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 bullshit. Charlotte Fullerton, if you're going to keep writing for the show, actually start watching some goddamn episodes. Oh wait, you must have, because this episode rips off the plot from Stairmaster. Not only is it disgusting, insulting, and cliched, it's also redundant. Charlotte Fullerton, why are you ripping off the only writer on the show who's debatably worse than you? I mean, if you're gonna rip someone off, rip off M.A. Larson or Cindy Mara or even Amy Keating Rogers. Or if you're gonna rip someone off, actually do a better job than they did. Hello, Charlotte Fullerton. Again. No, she won't take up the entire list. She didn't write enough episodes to. So let's talk about Look Before You Sleep for like the 3rd time. Yeah, I'm pretty tired of talking about this episode considering I've reviewed it twice now. Or 3 times if you count Sleepless in Ponyville. By the way, that's how you do it, Charlotte. I don't even know what to say about this one. I mean, I could talk about how childish Rarity and Applejack were acting, in more ways than one, but I already did that. I could talk about how unbelievably stupid Twilight behaved the whole episode, but once again, I already did that. I could talk about how incredibly forced the plot was, but you get the point. Seriously though, you could see that they didn't want a slumber party. And you too! Why didn't you tell her that you didn't want a slumber party? More importantly, why did you go along with it? The only thing ever explained is why Spike isn't in the episode, instead of explaining why antisocial Twilight wanted a slumber party, or once again why Applejack and Rarity actually went along with it.
Does not.
I've heard that exact same argument in a commercial once, but there was one little difference. The people arguing in the commercial were 5 years old. You know, not successful business owners. I've repeatedly heard the excuse that it was to make it obvious that they were behaving childishly. I don't buy it. There's a huge difference between acting childishly and actually acting like a child. Rainbow Dash was acting childishly in Fall Weather Friends when she assumed Applejack was cheating, but it was believable, in character, and at no point did she spout this miserable excuse for dialogue. But I could forgive this. I could forgive the out-of-character behavior, the forced plot, the terrible dialogue, if it wasn't so ungodly boring. I don't know if it was supposed to be funny that Twilight couldn't notice what was directly in front of her, but it came off as infuriating. Haha, Twilight could stop the arguing and fighting, but she doesn't! Isn't that hilarious? No, it's not. It's out of character, lazy writing, and frustrating. When it comes to Spike episodes, we got off to a really great start, didn't we? When I think of an episode where someone really didn't care, it's not this one that comes to mind, and we'll get to that one. But this is a pretty damn good candidate. I say no one cared because the point of the episode was that Spike got jealous because he thought Owlicious was taking all of his work. Twilight comes up with the excuse that she needed the extra help at night, which would be fine and good, except almost the entire episode takes place during the day. There was not one time that Twilight asked for the owl's help during the night. Did they really think that no one would notice? But that's not the biggest problem I have with the episode. My biggest problem is how badly Spike suffers abuse throughout the whole episode. People say that Just for Sidekicks is too mean-spirited towards the guy. This episode takes the cake, and unlike in Just for Sidekicks, he doesn't deserve it here. There's a scene where Twilight's last quill breaks, so Spike goes all around town looking for a new one when we already know what the result is. As expected, when Spike gets back, Owlicious gave her one of his own. Twilight nonchalantly says that she was calling out, when she could have chased him down or at least sent that ill-begotten owl after him. And then we come to my biggest problem with the episode. This moment right here, when the main six are fawning over Owlicious. This is an exact shot-for-shot parallel to another scene where they were all pretty much doing the same thing to Spike. The difference? They've known Spike for about a year. This is the first time they've ever met Owlicious, ever! If it's that easy to gain their affections, then those affections are worthless. It makes them all seem horribly petty. Yes, Rarity, petty. Why else would you have a special bow tie for an owlet you've never seen before? Now let's talk about Owlicious. He's a Mary Sue. You cannot compete with him. He is perfect in every way and has no personality other than being better than whoever gets jealous at him. He's my second most hated pet, only edged out by surprise Angel Bunny. No one thought anything through in this episode. Cindy Morrow didn't think about the implications or the fact that we already had a better jealousy story told, and the animators didn't think about the passage of time. This was an episode that didn't need to exist. And next we move on to an episode that shouldn't have existed. Yes, really, the Cutie Pox makes number 7 on the list. Why is that? Because out of every episode in the show, this is the only one I believe does not deserve to exist, as in, it should have been cut out in the pre-planning process. Its plot has been done 3 times before this episode, and even so, the plot would only last about 7 minutes without all of the filler. It's the already been chewed gum of MLP episodes, if you will. It's hard to get mad at this episode because there's nothing really to get mad at, which is why it ended up so low on the list. No, I'm not mad at this episode, I'm mad at Amy Keaton Rogers for writing it, and I'm using writing in an extremely loose sense. One thing that makes me angrier than anything else on the writer's part is laziness. Amy, this isn't an episode, it's an excuse for an episode, and it's not a very good one. The definition of plot is not stuff happens. I would say stuff happens is the definition of the Cutie Pox, but when it comes right down to it, nothing really does happen in this episode. If this episode didn't exist, what would we have lost? Really, this episode shouldn't exist. As far as I'm concerned, this episode doesn't exist. Season 2 has 25 episodes and a 4-minute bumper that should have stayed on the internet. Yep, it makes everyone's worst list, including mine. Where do I begin with this one? Well, let's start with what everyone thinks of first when they think of the Showstoppers. The horribly off-key, ear-bleeding song is actually not that bad. Yeah, I kinda actually like the song. Sure, it's off-key, but it's not that bad. The lyrics are still admirable, and I've certainly heard worse. No, what lands this episode on my worst list is literally everything else. Specifically, this episode is on the worst list because it's one of the few episodes that fails so hard, it actively makes other episodes worse. About 3 minutes in, it reveals the talents of the CMC. Then the rest of the episode goes on shoving it in our faces. I feel like I'm being elbowed by Cindy Morrow as she's saying, "Haha, they're stupid! Get the joke?" Yeah, Cindy, I get the joke, and it's not funny. It was never funny. In fact, 3 seasons in, it's getting to be kinda pathetic. And that joke taints other episodes. They're looking for their talents in the Cutie Pox, but Showstoppers already revealed what they are. They're looking for their talents in the Cutemark Chronicles, but Showstoppers already revealed what they are. They're looking for their talents in Ponyville Confidential, but Showstoppers already revealed what they are. I keep hearing the defense that this episode was supposed to be bad. First of all, only the song was. And about that, there's a way to make a song sound good, but still seem bad. Make it sound good, but have the characters in the show cringe. Secondly, how do you think that conversation went? Cindy, I want you to make the most horrible episode you can. Congratulations, you succeeded! Oh wait, no you didn't. Yeah, the funniest thing about this episode is that this isn't the last Cindy Morrow episode on my list. So, why don't I like Charlotte Fullerton? I should make this abundantly clear. In her episodes, the plot dictates logic. Things don't need to have a reason to happen, they just do. She likes to shoehorn in characters or conflicts to get whatever half-assed ending she wants. And the worst part is, she doesn't even try to hide it. I think she thinks it's funny. And when you boil all of her episodes down to their essence, you get May the Best Pet win. Yeah, I'm just gonna put this tortoise here for no reason, and I'm gonna have him be Rainbow Dash's pet beyond all logic, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. Yeah, I could put whatever half-ass plot in front of you, and you'll buy it as long as I'm not Meriwether Williams, so screw you! No, Charlotte, some of us demand more effort than that. Never before has this show felt more like a toy commercial. Not only is the plot predictable, but it's blatantly predictable. It knows it, and it wants you to know it. Yeah, that's exactly how this episode makes me feel. You could at least try to hide the end result. Even hiding it half-assed is better than not hiding it at all. And you didn't have to make everyone so goddamn unlikable.
Does she understand what a pet really needs?
Why don't you go ask her? No? Too busy watching Rainbow torment those animals and cheering her on? Alright, fine. And the tortoise can lift the giant boulder because apparently lifting a cat house gives you that ability. Not only is this episode lazy, but it wants you to know that it's lazy. I know a lot of people like this episode, but the more I watch this, the less I get it. Is it supposed to be funny? Cute? Compelling? All it is to me is aggravating.
You know, this all could have been avoided if y'all just came to me in the very beginning.
I wonder how insulting this moral is to the victims of bullying whose adults in their life could not or would not do jack shit to stop their bullying problem. Very insulting. Like, unbelievably insulting. Really, what if you tell the adults and they ignore you? Or tell you to ignore the bullies? And what if the bullies get the brilliant idea to pepper spray you because you tried to tell on them? And then what happens if the adults didn't believe that the bullies would do something like that? And then you have the gall to suggest that taking a stand against your bully turns you into a bully. Sometimes the only way to stop a bully is to show that you're not afraid, which is easier said than done. Sometimes bullies are packing knives. Sometimes they're packing guns. There's no such thing as an extreme case of bullying either. Some of them can get just about as sadistic as Babs here. Oh, she was bullied back in Manhattan. Boo-hoo-hoo. That doesn't give her license to become a bully. This episode gives her license though, but she didn't want to become a bully herself, which is why she upped the bullying to physical levels and continued to do so while Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon weren't around. Why don't you come up with a better excuse, like, Babs didn't know any better? It's really sad when a fanfic writer can do a better job than you can. Normally I can stomach a bad moral if the episode can make up for it, which is why Feeling Pinky Keen and Keep Calm and Flutter On aren't on this list. But this moral is far too rancid, at least with my own personal experiences. It's not like this episode was even trying to make up for it anyway. An A-Team reference and a catchy song will only get you so far, especially if the CMC are getting tortured in the latter. And veggie salad, how is that conceivably funny? Like, I don't even know how that's supposed to be a joke. It's not a pun, not even if you squint at it. Cindy Morrow, you went from Hurricane Fluttershy to One Bad Apple. That's not an improvement.
Why does life have to be so ironic?
Because life hates you. Next. Every show usually has at least one episode that does absolutely nothing right. Friendship is Magic is lucky. They got theirs out of the way fairly early. In Ghostbusters, every single joke falls flat. The plot is so paper thin, being bolstered by a subplot that amounts to Spike trying to get Twilight off of her ass and show up Trixie. Ah yes, the characters. Every single goddamn one is annoying and reprehensible. Trixie, a traveling performer, comes to Ponyville to do magic tricks. Yay, Trixie, you can do magic. So can 1/3 of the population. True, some unicorns are more powerful than others, but Trixie's tricks didn't seem all that impressive, even back then. Even so, she didn't deserve to be heckled like she did by Rainbow, Rarity, and Applejack. Our heroes, everyone! Rainbow is the last pony who should be complaining about anyone being a loudmouth. And why the hell do Rarity and Applejack care about Trixie's performance? She's a performer! It's what she's supposed to do. That's her job. She's supposed to embellish her talents, and if you don't like the show, just leave. Seriously, it's not like Trixie's restraining you guys, you know, until you try to show up the show-off by being a bigger show-off. Then we get to Spike at his most punchable, his worst appearance ever, bar none. All of his dialogue amounts to, "Do it, Twilight," in the most annoying, obnoxious voice possible. And he never shuts up. Twilight, once again, could get someone to shut up, doesn't. She's afraid of her friends hating her if she tries to show off her talents. And for all she knows, she could be right. Rainbow, Rarity, and Applejack had no real reason to hate Trixie. Then there's Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Take a good long look at your legacy, Chris Savino. This is your impact on the show. This is what you have contributed. Some of the most annoying characters in cartoon history who have absolutely no redeeming value. Here's some advice for you, Chris. Dipshits aren't funny. Yeah, this is the other episode that also makes other episodes worse. But some of those episodes fought back. Magic Duel actually made this episode worse. In that episode, we learned that Trixie got her home destroyed. She did not deserve to have her career, her reputation, and her home destroyed because these two are being dumbasses. I'm done talking about this. Let's move on to the next one. It's not truly a worst episode list without at least one Meriwether Williams episode, is it? I originally said that Dragon Quest was an insult to everything that the show stands for. That's not entirely true. It's a threat. This episode hates what the show stands for and wants to fervently go against it. Haha, Spike is doing something feminine. He's not a real dragon. Every pony mock him.
Act like other dragons?
Oh, not even close.
But why would you want to, Spike?
How the fuck did a line like that pass through the censors? Of course, that's nothing compared to the fact that the episode wants to teach that message. Spike, you're a dragon, and you should be ashamed for being a dragon. Each and every one of them is brutish. They do stupid things. They steal. They vandalize. They have no regards for life. You should be more like ponies. They are perfection compared to dragons. They took you in, so you should be indebted to them and serve them for the rest of your life. Spike has absolutely no respect from ponies, but that's okay. At least they're not dragons. See where I'm going with this? I'm honestly surprised why more bronies don't hate this episode. This episode actually deserves Meridwell's treatment and reception. Yes, I do mean that. I already said that this episode was beaten by Gravity Falls. Do you know what else this episode was beaten by? G1. Not kidding. There, Spike learned that just as there are different types of ponies, there could be different kinds of dragons, and that one group doesn't represent a whole. You know, unlike in this episode, where it's to be assumed that all dragons are like that. Besides that, there really isn't much to say. The intro is terrible, putting Rainbow Dash on the right just to beat her up. The plot is predictable. We knew that Spike wasn't leaving forever. It's also contrived. Twilight, you don't know anything about creatures that migrate over your house, except for their migration patterns apparently. This is one of 2 episodes that actually fall into the hate category for me, and if you watch my reviews, you already know what the other one is. Out of all the episodes on this list, out of all the episodes of the show to date, this is the only one that I will not willingly watch again. Ever! It's unwatchable. Beyond terribly put together. Beyond having no redeeming value. It's an episode that I cannot watch. This episode is so mean-spirited, harsh, and purely unpleasant. It's the kind of episode that destroys a character.
Stop! Things getting too complicated for your simple little brain, Pinkie Pie. Why not? I thought petty was what you're all about, Rarity, with your petty concerns about fashion. Oh, and what are you passionate about? Birthday cake? Party hats? On pointless pursuits that no pony else gives a flying feather about!
Yeah, well, fuck you too, Fluttershy. Tell your best friends that their lives have no purpose. Tell them that you personally find no value in them. Do it all with no hesitation at the slightest provocation. Why would anyone want to come back to you after that? Oh yeah, because it's all Iron Will's fault. He put those dirty words in Fluttershy's mouth. He told her to drive her friends to tears. And fuck you too. Turn a beloved character into this monstrosity. Have her give up a beautiful friendship on a hair trigger. Use everything we've seen them go through and just throw it to the wayside. And on top of that, make no sense as you do so. Nothing about this plot makes sense in the slightest. Fluttershy stands up to Iron Will because she learned how to control herself, off-screen while she was tied up apparently. Every minor character is a random stereotype for some odd reason, and each and every one of them is an asshole! Fluttershy beats 2 ponies up, and suddenly she's stuck in frenzy mode. Fluttershy gets angry at Pinkie because the element of laughter decided to laugh. One of my commenters said that I beat this episode up so hard it doesn't exist anymore. How I wish that was the case. If I did so, it put up a hell of a fight. After reviewing this episode, I was in a depression for 2 days. Yes, I hate this episode that goddamn much. I really don't know why this isn't on more worst episode lists. There is nothing to like about this episode. Iron Will? Sure, he's interesting, but he's also a stereotype of self-help instructors. The Looney Tunes reference? It's funny, I guess, but I still have the sour taste of Angel Bunny slapping Fluttershy across the face in my mouth. The Lonely Man Hulk reference? That would be nice if it didn't come immediately after the worst moment of the show. The slapstick? Yeah, that would be funny if it didn't happen entirely to characters who didn't deserve it. All I could say is fuck this episode. Here's to hoping I don't have to update this list in the future.